All right, guys, let's connect. Today is January 11th, 2026. Sorry, a couple minutes late. I updated my software and it's just a whole big thing. So I definitely wanted it to be let me know. I'm not sure if we're going to run into some problems here for what it is, but let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below in the chat everywhere. Let me know your thoughts. See how you're doing. I know it's kind of crazy to see what's happening right now in this live stream for the first of the year. So yeah, I hopefully you can hear me all right. Let me know when you guys join. See how we're doing. I'm One Eyebrow, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the live stream today to talk about some Stranger Things. Obviously, that's over. The Walking Dead universe, as always. A little bit of From, a little bit of different shows, movies, football. Whatever you want to talk about, that's kind of a general topic. You know, I got some stuff going on with my life and everything that I wanted to thank you, Bricks, for letting me know loud and clear. Appreciate it. Just got to make sure it's okay because, again, I updated this like 10 minutes before I'm going to do this live stream, and it was the new, update from OBS that kind of made it look a little different. The stream is a little bigger than what it is, so just trying to figure out the new settings on there too, but looks kind of good, a little different. You can see more of the microphone, more of me, and more of the setup right here. So hopefully you're doing well in this new year. I haven't been on a live stream for a while. I have been, taking a little break, and then I was like, should I come back for the holidays, do this, and then my birthday's around Christmas, and so I was like, that, and then we did some stuff, and it was just, I couldn't coordinate when to do it, how to do it, and everything for my life and everybody else. So hopefully you're doing well. So, every year it's a new year, new you, everything, but it's one of those things where what's really changed? I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. It's up to you what you want to do. Some says it's having a little trouble getting on. Hopefully we can figure it out and everything there too, because it's just the first one of the year. Get the kinks all ironed out. So hopefully this year is going to be good for us. 2025 was a rough year for myself, for my family. My stepmom passed away a year ago. Milo, my cat, passed away, in 6 days a year ago. And it's just January is a tough month. I think January sucks. It's just been a crazy thing. It's always tough because it's after the holidays. I think October, November, December is the best time of the year. The last 3 months of the year. Then you go into the next year and you're like, but at least we got some shows, stuff we're watching now. What are you guys watching now? Right now, we're watching football, obviously, because it's the playoffs. Watching Landman. Watching, we finished up Mayor of Kingstown. That's going to be is it a fifth and final season? Either way, it's the next season is going to be the final season of that show. And I think they need to wrap it up anyway. That's all right with me. Fallout. There's a show on Netflix called His and Hers. And it stars John Bernthal. I'll have to see about the notifications. Thanks, Rob K, for letting me know about the notifications on there too. That's because it's probably, I haven't done one in a while. I don't know. Maybe if we'll have to play with it and see. Hopefully, more people will still get the notification or see my thing about being here for the next hour. So His and Hers on Netflix. It stars John Bernthal. And it stars Tessa Thompson. And it's from a book, I believe, that takes place in Georgia. And it's kind of crazy. We're on the third episode. It's a limited series. And it's, John being John, Shane being Shane. And he's a police officer. He plays kind of the same person. He's a police officer on The Walking Dead. He was a police officer in His and Hers. He was a police officer in... Is it We Own the City or something? We're at the Baltimore Cops. Like, he kind of plays the same kind of thing. So, Brick says, yeah, me and the wife are going to check it out. So, Rob Case has finished Stranger Things and started Fallout. So, Fallout's good. I've actually never played the video game, so I don't know if it's true to the games and however it is. But it draws me in. I'm interested to see because it's got that post-apocalyptic world and this and that and this group and there and the vault people and this people and the people, the scientist guy trying to, it's kind of crazy. Stranger Things. So I don't want to get too much into spoilers because of that, but hopefully you guys have seen it. I thought it was good. I thought it was going to wrap up what it was. We'll talk a little bit later about the spoilers and stuff there, but let's just kind of ease into the stream of the 2026 year for our, everybody. And hopefully you've seen Stranger Things by now. If you haven't watched it, there was plenty of time to watch it because that show started in 2016. That is crazy. 2016, they filmed and it was a show. Filmed and a season. Filmed and a season. And then COVID. Writer strikes. Actor strikes. This strike. That strike. And then it finally finished up 9 years after it started with the 5th and final season. And I thought it was good. I know some people are talking about this and that and the real finale and these and all these theories and will we get another season, another episode, is going to be spin-offs, it's going to be there. After a while, we have to just let it go. Right? Look at all the series and the shows and movies that have been pretty good, but they've been just dragged through the mud for everything for too long. Like Terminator, like Star Wars, like so many other things that have happened. But because it's not enough now to have a movie or a show. You have to have a trilogy. You have to have a universe. You have to have multiple series, seasons, episodes, shows, movies that connect, all this stuff. World building, universe building. And it's okay to have a show be one and done. It's not that big a deal. There's enough stuff to come around for the other shows and other stuff to watch because there's so many streaming services. There's so many areas that you can watch. You can watch stuff on Netflix and Apple and Prime and, wherever. There's so many things. Regular TV now, too, So, Sim says, probably going to, Q&A, probably you see Andrew Lincoln in the series Cold Water. So I haven't seen it, but I know that was the big thing. So, I've seen different things online about, I forget if it's Undead Walking or forget where it is, but it's something on Facebook. And they post the same stuff all the time on there about, they're going to come together and big potential. And I don't even click on the article, so I don't know what it actually says in the article. But it draws you into big news, making us think that there's big Walking Dead news. And there's really not any major news that I've seen about Rick Grimes coming back for another show. Will he be on the Daryl show the final season? Will Dead City continue on? Will that be the main show, the only show that people are going to join there to really help out? Because Dead City right now has that Fear the Walking Dead vibes. There's decent characters and an okay story, but overall it just falls flat. And the Rick story kind of concluded perfectly with The Ones Who Live, with Michonne, Rick, Judith, and RJ. It kind of was that's it. But I wouldn't mind, and I still want to see, all of us, I believe, we all want to see the Rick-Daryl reunion, and if that doesn't happen in the Daryl show, it needs to happen some way, some shape, some form, some spin-off, something, a limited series of somehow, some way, because we want resolution, we want conclusion, we want it to be done. I don't want it just to feel we're done, it's over. So I feel I want there's still a little tiny meat on the bone left for The Walking Dead. But Stranger Things is done. House of the Dragon is still going on. There's the Game of Thrones and Knight's Tales, something, I don't know what it is, with Sir Duncan the Tall. And it looks kind of interesting enough, and I'm not into the big, Game of Thrones lore that I don't really, I don't know that much about it. Besides what I've seen on the shows, I've never read the books, never done any of that. But there's a lot of good stuff coming up here. The Boys wraps up that season or series finale in April, I want to say, is when that starts. So you got the Game of Thrones show, I believe, starting next Sunday. Landman's still going on. And then when probably Game of Thrones, the Knight's Tale thing is going to be done, then you have the House of the Dragon season 3. Then you'll have, I don't know when Dead City season 3 is going to be, but From is rumored to come back in April of this year. So I'm excited to see what happens there. That's something that I want to see what's going to happen with that series, because if you haven't seen From, it's MGM Plus, but if you know this stream and if you know we're talked about it several times, it's something that I know hopefully you gotta check it out. But there's plenty of time for that. And I want to just talk about a couple things that happened with me, because I haven't talked to you guys in a while. So I had took a little break. It was a nice little break for the holidays. I went home to New Jersey for Friendsgiving, and that was good to see everybody, my friends, my family, and everything. And it's tough to be home for a couple of days and then leave and see. My parents are divorced. They've been divorced since I was 2 years old. So I got to see my mom and my dad and my friends, and then I come back home. And it's very quick. And then come back here, finish up the year, do this. My wife and I took a nice cruise at the end of the year. We had a Port Canaveral, like where Orlando is. And it was a nice Carnival cruise for the week, Monday through Friday. And I came back to work on a Monday, this past Monday, the 5th. And then on the 6th, I worked all day, and I had a meeting with one of my owners, because the owner that owns the clinic, there's 2 of them, and they said that I didn't need to work in that clinic anymore because they can't afford my salary. So I could go work at another clinic that I looked it up is like at least 45 minutes away, and I didn't want to do that. And so I don't have a job since Tuesday. But I should be starting a new job next week, so hopefully it all works out and everything there too, and it's worth it. It's just a little further away, but it's not 40 to 45 minutes. But it just makes me think and confirms, we already know this, right, that we're expendable. No, I wasn't a father. No, I didn't become a father, Rob. Just, my wife and Otis, our cat. So that's what we got still. So I, just sucked because I just, I was sitting there working, and I saw this thing on my schedule with the meeting with one of the owners, and he met with about my other staff people separately, and I'm like, that's weird. And then I'm like, something's weird about it and how they were going about it, and then I just felt like something was up, and my gut instinct was saying that, what it was. So, but so I was let go on Tuesday, and then I got a phone call Wednesday about a potential job, and explained the situation to him and everything on there too. He's like, wow, it happened yesterday. I was like, yeah, so it's a little crazy, and I got to talk to him tomorrow. So potentially be starting there on Tuesday. So it was nice to have a couple of days off and then back to working. But I think I want to work part-time. I think I want to work part-time really the rest of my life, like barring health and wealth and money and just stuff. I don't want to work full-time anymore if I can't afford it, with my investments and money, so that I can do more YouTube. I can continue my book series. And that's another thing. Like, I haven't really written at all for the next book of Fight for Us 2 that I want to. But I have to have the time to do it right. And so I'm on chapter 2, I believe. So I wrote a little bit, but nothing of significance. And this would let me read and write and focus. And I have all these ideas for the book. I just have to put them together. And I like, that's in my process. Like, I don't know how you guys do, writing or problem solving and stuff. But I think about, for my writing, I think about it as like, what am I going to try to write in this book? What's the premise from chapter 1 to the last chapter? does it connect from the previous book, and how does it connect, and with their great series, and the story, and other stuff, and where do I want to go with it? So I have all these ideas, and it's definitely something that I like the process of it, and I enjoy writing, and I enjoy liking putting everything down. And it just, once you get in the flow, and you get in the mood, and you get in the ability of it, I just want to keep writing. And there's some times where I'm like, I got to take a break because I'm there too. And sometimes you don't write for a while. So, well, you got to strike while the iron's hot, and the productivity, efficiency, and the ideas are coming to you. So I definitely want to get it all together. I've been doing stuff around the house, just like odds and ends, catching up on TV shows. And does anybody care about the football playoffs right now? Anything going on for you guys? You care about any teams left? I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and they did not make the playoffs. And the Chiefs did not make the playoffs, so we want to have a repeat of last year's Super Bowl, but the Eagles are still in it, so there's a chance for them to go back to the Super Bowl and repeat. But we'll have to see, But other than that, guys, life comes at you very quickly. It's different a day, a week, a month, a year makes. And it's easy to say, but when you kind of like feel that way, you're like, wow, last week I was doing this, or, yeah, 2 weeks ago I was getting ready for a cruise. And last week I was getting ready to go back to work. And this week, potentially starting a new job. And like it's just crazy. And that's the beauty of life, is you never know. And we love the line, yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. And it really is, like it's not just tomorrow, but the future is hopefully bright and well and doing good and optimistic. But it's not all going to be optimistic. We're not all going to be perfect. It's not going to be every day's great. We're going to have days that are bad. We're going to have problems with, our body, or our cars, or our house, or the internet, or headaches, or whatever, body aches, and doctor's appointments, or feeling sick, or whatever. And then some days you'll feel great, and you go do that, and you go work out, and you go run and exercise and work and feel okay, and you're not stressed, but then you're stressed, and then something happens, and your life turns upside down. And it's okay. But we can problem solve and move on. And that's the biggest thing, too. Rob K says, my Steelers play tomorrow night. I think they're one and done. Houston's going to be a tough game. Houston definitely has a good shot to win that game. And, I mean, to be honest, if the Steelers, but it doesn't matter. You just got to get into the playoffs. And I kind of felt bad when the kicker doesn't really do it and misses it, and he's a rookie kicker. And if the Ravens had Justin Tucker, they'd probably make that kick, but that craziness with the massages and stuff on there too. So, but hey Carol, oh my goodness, she writes, Happy New Year, y'all. Happy to be here. Had another brain surgery on December 4th, twice in 8 months. So really glad to be here. Follow your passion, Brian. Things you enjoy will make you prosperous. Well, thank you so much, Carol. It's always good to see you, talk to you on there as well. Hopefully you're doing well. I can only imagine what it's like for you and your family and your sons and everything. That's scary, when you're dealing with any kind of surgery, let alone brain, heart, vascular, organs, anything. And it doesn't matter the severity. The more in depth, like your brain is pretty essential and your heart is pretty essential. But, it's crazy that we have to go through that stuff. But the good thing is that you're here and you're typing it up and you're doing well, and hopefully it's going well for you. And, I don't take it, I don't know how to say lightly, but I take it with great respect and great, I don't know how to convey this, but it makes me feel special, I guess, to talk with you guys and be a part of your lives. And to see what's going on and to be that way, we can all trace it back to The Walking Dead as the chain that binds us and connects us, and the link that brings us around. But I truly believe that people come into your lives for different reasons at different times, good and bad. You know, and it's like crazy to me. Like when you see that, like it's just so, I don't know, uplifting, and be like, you know, there's a bigger thing for us. And when people go through surgeries and have stuff going through it like that, it's like you gotta be grateful for just for breathing, just for thinking, and be able to wipe your own butt and eat food and like take care of yourself. You know, like that's the stuff that matters. And you know, it's a blessing that I was let go from my job, you know, because I was thinking about it as like, I want to work one more year and then cut my hours or stop working. And now I'll be able to have more flexibility. And, you know, my dad is 76 years old. And he had knee replacement, 2 cataract surgeries and stuff on there too. And, you know, trying to get his ability to do stuff and get out and play golf and come down here and visit more and whatever too. And, you know, it's just got to have money to do those things, and you got to work to make the money to pay the bills. But then you have all this money to pay your bills, you don't have the time. And then if you lost your job, you have the time but no money because you don't have a job. And it's like, well, how do you do that? And then you realize that you're 65, 70 years old and you're retired, but now everybody you know is gone. If you're lucky, your parents are still alive. Your spouse is still alive. Your friends are still alive. Your neighbors are still alive. Somebody you care about is still alive. And it's one of those things where it's not, I don't know the answer because I'm only in my 40s and I have no idea. But I'm like, I wish I could have more time with the people looking back on it too. Like every time in shows and movies and series, you see that it's like, I wish I had more time with the people I care about. And, you know, I was just home in December. And it's a hassle to fly home to Philadelphia from Tampa. And it's not that big a deal, but it's still like get on the plane, get there 2 hours early, go through this and go through that and be home. And, you know, the travel, and it's just a lot. And then to leave Otis behind. So the other thing is, I told you guys I was just on a cruise, right? And it was a Carnival cruise out of Port Canaveral. And my wife and I, we were talking about it. We're like, I think we should get the internet package, right? Because I had to do some things online with my investments and stuff for the end of the year. And on a cruise, you put your phone in Wi-Fi mode or Wi-Fi. You put it in airplane mode, and you don't really have the Wi-Fi unless you pay for it. So you put your phone in airplane mode. You download the app of the cruise line, if it's Carnival Hub app or whatever, the Royal Caribbean app, Norwegian app. They use the apps. And in airplane mode, your phone still works, but selectively. So we were going to get the Wi-Fi package, and there's different levels and different mounts and whatever. So we got the premium one, and we did it ahead of time, so we had a little discount, and we had a little onboard credit, so we used it towards that. So it wasn't crazy priced. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't priced because I wanted to. I have cameras in my house and cameras outside my house, and the lady, my wife's coworker, she was going to take care of Otis, and she does a great job, and we appreciate her doing it, and it means a lot to us. But I like to make sure that the thing is good, and everything's working, and it's safe, and whatever. And so I drive to the port, we get in, boom, it's good. Park the car, get on the boat, boom, 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 get something to eat, drop the bags off in the room. Everything was great. And I was like, let me check to see the camera's on, and the camera said offline. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And I was like, we have service here. We're at Cape Canaveral, basically. We're in Florida still. We didn't leave anything. We should still have connection. So I didn't have the internet at home. The router or the modem, whatever the Spectrum stupid thing was that has the red light when it's not working right, wasn't working right. And it had to be reset. And so I didn't have the internet the entire time to see the cameras back home. So then you worry about, like, oh, is my house still there? Did it burn down? Is something, like it was all these crazy things. And we came home and the modem just needed to be reset, and it didn't work. But the Wi-Fi package was actually kind of cool, and it was nice to have that too. And so we were watching things online and stuff, and it worked out, and it was kind of cool. But I was like, I don't ever get that. I've got a soda card, the one cruise to get sodas and mix them with alcohol many years ago, 2007, I think. was my second cruise. And I was like, what the heck? It didn't work out. But we had a good New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, we were on the boat still, and it was nice to ring in the new year there and starting a new year. Going to the gym. I don't know if you guys work out or not, but this is the worst time ever to be going to the gym because it's so crowded of all the new people that have joined the gym. And my wife and I have been going to this gym now for maybe 2 years. And it's so packed. It's so crazy. It's so crowded. New year, new me kind of thing on there too, which I get it. But then the people don't know how to use the equipment. The gym etiquette has gone out the window. Like, I don't know if you guys know how to be a proper person at the gym. Like, re-rack your weights and bring a towel and wipe the equipment down and don't just sit and talk on the machines. Like, get up and move. Don't hog 2 pieces of equipment. Don't go back and forth. Just be considerate. That's all. Just like anything, right? If you go to the store, move to the side with your shopping cart and don't drive down the middle of the parking lot or the road or whatever. Like, just be considerate too. But the gym, it's a whole different beast on there as well. And so you just deal with it and move on. But Isaias, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, bud. It's great to see you as well. It's great to see all you guys. It was kind of like a weird thing being away because I missed talking to you guys. But I have to admit, it was nice to not have to like stop what I'm doing to do this and to do that, and we could start, whatever, or because my birthday was it a Sunday? I can't remember. I think it was. Yeah, it was a Sunday last year, and so I got to go to dinner and do some nice things and have a nice time with my wife and just be home. And it's not a hassle, but sometimes it's nice to be able to go do things because you don't have to be home to be on the computer right now. But, overall, 2026 is shaping up to be a crazy year already, and we're 11 days in. So you got to be able to bob and weave and stick and move and just deal with what comes at you. And I just watched a thing today about Macaulay Culkin because he's got a little resurgence. Like the holidays just got over, and I don't know about you guys, but I watch kind of the same holiday movies every year. Home Alone 1, 2, Christmas Vacation, Elf, Christmas Story, stuff like that. 4 Christmases. And Macaulay Culkin was huge in the 90s. And it was 11-minute video talking about his dad and him, and his dad seemed like a terrible person. And Macaulay was like one of 7 kids. And we know Kieran and whatever. And it's crazy that like Macaulay and Kieran are pretty big actors. So 2 out of the 7 kids made it pretty good. And there's another Culkin that was in Signs and whatever, I think. But it was still like crazy. And the dad, it's just like a terrible story of parents manipulating their children and living vicariously through their children and not taking care of them, And there was a documentary that came out about John Candy, and it's called like John Candy, I Like Me, because there's a line from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where it's him and Steve Martin are yelling at each other, and it's an argument back and forth, and it kind of gets nice, not a sad moment, but an impactful moment, a deep moment where John Candy's character says, I like me. He likes who he is. And that he talked about, Macaulay Culkin was on there, and he said that John Candy was one of the only people, or the first person, or one of the only people, I forget how it was exactly, that he said how terrible Macaulay's dad was, and he tried to stick up for him and be, nice. But it's not his father, it wasn't his place, and he probably intervened a little bit where he could, but because from Uncle Buck and Home Alone as well, they worked together too. So Carol says, on the ride to church this morning, saw a physical PT place here in NOLA. So yeah, so physical, it's actually FYZICAL. And their whole thing was it's spelled different because we are different. And so are you going to be getting any PT, Carol, for, balance or vestibular or steadiness or strengthening or anything too? I would assume after brain surgery, you may be a little, I hate to say uncoordinated, unsteady, unbalanced, and it just makes sense because you're messing with different parts of your brain that could be affecting your cognition, your, I don't know the parts that would be affected because I don't know which ones were, but your frontal lobe, your cerebellum, your temporal lobe, occipital lobe. So they make sense to be somewhat impacted by there as well, and you see your doctor and see how it is. But if you're noticing a little unsteadiness, because not just Carol, but everybody, as we get older, we lose strength, endurance, dexterity, just balance, everything, power, stamina. And so the big thing about it is you have to use it or lose it, mind, body, or soul. And that's a big thing too as well. Like you keep something fresh because you do it all the time. If you work out, if you play pickleball, if you swim, if you run, if you dance, if you sing, if you do whatever, And it's important because you have to keep the motor learning and keep the motor going and keep the body going, mind, body, and soul. And I've seen a lot of people with balance stuff that are retirees because they don't challenge themselves enough. And that's why I always think you have to, it's all relative, but can you stand on one leg for 10 seconds safely? Safety first and always. Can you do those things? Because there's a study that shows if you can't do it for at least 10 seconds, you're more likely to fall, break something, and really hurt yourself too. So yeah, so Jeannie, that's the opposite end too, Jeannie. She says, I overdid it on Christmas in the Smokies trip. My knees are so mad at me. So you have to think, well, that's I don't know if it's a once in a lifetime trip. I don't know if it's an annual thing or whatever, but it's an outlier. You don't do the same activity you do all the time. But when you do stuff that's different, it makes a difference because your body's not used to it. Like recently, like when I was told to not come into work anymore. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and today, I did a lot of painting around the house. I put together these 2 shelves. I did all this stuff, so my right shoulder, because I'm right-handed, is bothering me more, plus working out, plus exercising, plus stuff in the yard, plus, doing something with stucco and working, doing a lot of stuff. So my right shoulder was just overuse. But I'm going to calm it down, ice it down a little bit. Jeannie, yeah, you can do hot or cold on your knees if they're sore. If it's arthritis, heat's probably better, and if you live somewhere cold, probably a hot pack is better anyway too. But try to keep them loose, lubricated, and moving too. So, Carol, the only thing I have is weakness on the right side. It feels like jamming your elbow, but it gets better daily. I will be doing radiation soon. Okay, yeah, so chemo, radiation stuff is going to zap you. It's going to drain you a little bit too. So I'm sure there's Google and doctors and medical professionals that'll tell you better than me. But listen to your body, stay hydrated. Vitamins, minerals, do stuff to help your process, your recovery on there. After it's all said and done, maybe then think about it as just getting back to it. Because I want you to keep active on there too, so, but that's a great mindset, Carol. She says, I'm so blessed to have my ability for movement. So just any ability, the best ability is availability, the ability to do things and your function, keeping your function high and everything on there too. Like, it's something that we take for granted until something's gone. You don't really realize how good something was until it's gone. Like a relationship, like a friendship, like a job, like a thing. Or you also remember if something was bad or not too. Like, wow, this kind of sucked. This is so much better here, and hopefully it goes better for it, whether it's a relationship or work or whatever. Hopefully you go the right way too. So. Yeah, so, and that's the other thing, Tim, it says, I do heat on pain, cold on burn. So listen to your body, okay? So hot pack, cold pack, a moist heat usually works best, especially for soothing arthritis, wear and tear. If you're swollen, though, like if you turn an ankle or you twist your knee or you have a bite, a spider bite or something, Don't put heat on it. Put ice on it. Get the swelling down. Ice is the best anti-inflammatory there is. You know, for arthritis, osteoarthritis, it usually like you got to put a little heat on there too. But listen to your body. But again, for acute swelling, you know, ankle, sprained ankle, you know, spider bite, something like that too. Get the swelling down with ice. So, you know, Stranger Things was interesting for a lot of people. I just feel like I won't get into like big spoilers because I want you guys to watch it. But Linda Hamilton is in this season, and I felt like that character was so misused, underutilized. There's I forget what the Star Wars show was called, The Acolyte, I think it was called, and they had Trinity from The Matrix, and she was a Jedi on that show. And what they did to that character was kind of the same thing, like, wow, that's crazy that you're going to have this huge actress and you barely utilize her. Like, you could have made it anybody. You didn't need to have this huge person, but it helps sell. And Stranger Things didn't need to sell anything. The Acolyte and certain shows need to do that because they need help to do that. But Linda Hamilton in Stranger Things was, but like previously they did a good job. Like when they brought in Rudy Austin, you know, it's like, what? He was good. Bob was a good character, and they brought people in every season, and they did a good job with it, whether they were big actors or actresses or not. But Linda Hamilton's character, it was just like they kind of wrapped it up, rushed it up, and it's tough to wrap up a show. It's really tough to wrap it up, especially like it just felt like slow and then rushed. And you're like, what? Come on, you know? But, you know, I still think like this year, what are you guys excited for movies wise? You know, of course, Avengers Doomsday is probably going to be amazing at the end of the year. December 18th, that movie comes out. And they're showing you all these little snippets of Captain America and Thor and now Cyclops, Professor X, and Magneto. And yeah, I believe those, Carol, they're all Apple shows, aren't they? Apple Plus shows. And when does Silo come back? Anybody know? Rob K says, I'm hoping 28 years later the Bone Temple is good. I hope so too, because 28 years later, that was like, what the heck was that, man? Like, the premise was good. You're in this, you know, away from the crazy land, kind of like an island. I guess it was an island. Yeah, it was an island because the water has high tide, low tide, and when it's low tide, you could walk across there. When it's high tide, it protects you from the zombies. And then they go into the city, into the population, and then you meet the Bone Temple guy and all this stuff there, and so they're going to have a spin-off of that. But besides Avengers, I don't really know what other movies coming out this year that looks good. Is the Odyssey something? Right? There's a movie on Netflix. It stars Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Steven Yeun's in it. And the trailer came out like months ago. And it finally comes out at the end of this month. And I forget what it's called. But they're cops and they come across this money in a house. And it's on Netflix. So if you got Netflix, definitely check it out. I definitely will. And then there's another movie that's Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man. That's a good one too. Cyber Coastal. I believe John Bernthal is going to be in that as the Punisher. And then the There's a buddy comedy, crazy, funny action movie with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista on Prime. That looks pretty good. And that comes out pretty soon. And it's in January, I just don't know when. Mark Ruffalo's in there too? Nice. So we're going to have the Hulk, Spider-Man, Punisher. Is that the one where Spider-Man, Tom Holland got hurt? He got injured? Like going around on the wires or something? But the Rip, yeah, that's what it is, Rob. The Rip. The Rip! And I still have to, I want to watch it, I just don't know where. There's two movies that I want to watch from last year that I haven't seen yet, and I was waiting for streaming. Is Predator Badlands. I know that just came out on digital or something. I'm guessing that's going to be on Disney. And The Smashing Machine with The Rock, which I believe comes out at the end of the month on HBO Max with what's the fighter's name? It's called The Smashing Machine. He's the UFC guy. I forget his name. But I watched the whole movie. It was called The Smashing Machine. And it was a documentary about the real guy who's still alive. And then, of course, UFC on Paramount Plus now at the end of the month, which is or the 24th. So in a week from Saturday, which I'm excited for that too, because I do like Patty Pimlet, Justin Gaethje, and a couple of the other fighters that are going to be on there too. Amanda Nunes. I really like her a lot, but I don't know that other woman who's the wrestler, grappler. She's a beast, man. That's going to be tough to beat, but I'm be pulling for Amanda Nunes because I like her. Supergirl, that's the other one too. So there's a lot of good stuff coming out. You know, more shows for me, like the Knight's one. I forget what it's called. Knight's Tale, whatever, from Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. So 2 Game of Thrones shows. Dead City, gotta keep up with that. Hopefully it gets better and better. Daryl Dixon, got to see how they wrap that up. The Boys, season 5. So that's 5 shows right there. What else we got? What other shows? I don't know when. Marshalls. You know, Tim, my Taylor Sheridan guy. Marshalls. I'm hoping that's good. I like Casey Dutton, and I think he can carry a show. And he had a little moments here and there, but I think I like that actor, and I have to see what happens there too. There's a sequel to Meet the Fockers coming called Focker in Law. Love the yeah. I think I heard about that too, and I like Ben Stiller. I love Jerry Stiller, the dad. I think Jerry Stiller is hilarious. Ben Stiller is funny too. They're really good. Street Fighter, that's good. Street Fighter and also Mortal Kombat 2. Man, see, there's more and more stuff coming out as we're talking about it. This is good. Street Fighter, I'm a huge Street Fighter 2 fan. I grew up playing that in arcades and Super Nintendo and everything else, and love it. And also Mortal Kombat 2. So, yeah. Ginny says George R. R. Martin needs to quit making TV and finish his book series for sure. And then From. Yeah. I don't know how many more seasons that's going to go down, but we have to see what that was all about. And if you watch From, you know how the last season ended. And that set up a bunch of questions on there, too. See, I'm not a Dune guy. Like, I don't really care about Dune. Toy Story 5. Yeah, I think this is going to be the final Toy Story. But that's what they said about, like, 3 and 4 and this and whatever. And so, but I know Tim Allen recorded his last Toy Story 5 stuff for Buzz Lightyear like a couple months ago, and he was kind of upset about it on Jimmy Fallon, I think he was talking. And, Toy Story is always great, so. Yeah. The Hunting Party on Peacock was going. Check it out. What's the Hunting Party about? Marshalls, March 1st. Yep, see? So before you know it, we got to get out of January, right? You know? So because it's so long. Like as I'm looking at the calendar right here, it's January 11th. We got all these days. We got 2 weeks from Saturday to end this month. Then to get into February, and it's just crazy, man. February is the short month. Is it a leap year? Nope, regular year. And just ready to get into the third quarter. Get into the third month, the ends of the first quarter kind of thing. Get the shows going, everything rolling in there too as well. You know, the barring who plays in the Super Bowl in February. Then you got, you know, baseball, basketball, hockey. March Madness is always great. Basketball, you know, everything should be fun to look forward to. So, isn't Ryan Gosling isn't he starring in a Star Wars movie? You know, there's all these things coming out and everything's coming there too, and so it's just kind of crazy. But I said it before at the beginning of the stream, if guys came later, or girls and people came later. We're watching a show on Netflix called His and Hers. And it stars John Bernthal and Tessa Thompson. And I guess it was a book. It was filmed in Georgia, different parts of Georgia. There's a place called like Deloga, Georgia or something. And I looked it up, and there's, because when they drive around certain places, I'm like, that's got to be Georgia, you know, and look it up, and the filming was in Atlanta or this or whatever, you know, certain spots. And I definitely like the look of it, and it's always kind of cool. It takes me back to the Walking Dead time. But especially John Bernthal being there too. So John Bernthal is a police officer, and it starts off with a woman is murdered is the opening of the show, and then it unfolds what's going on. It's a limited series, and we're on episode 3, so I don't know what's going to happen with it. You start to think about it, what it is, and how it's set up, and more stuff unravels each episode. It's just crazy. It's like a crazy thing that happens over and over and over again. But it's cool. It's something different, and I enjoy that as well. So, you know, this year I'm going to try, for me, my goals are to save a bunch of money, invest a bunch of money, so I can retire within the next couple years. Yeah, see, sorry. Yeah. DeLongnaga at Georgia, yeah. And so, and it's a real place too. It was kind of funny. Small town feel. They talk about it there too. So that's my goals here. Try to save a bunch of money, put it there, invest it. And, you know, I'm not worried about Social Security. My dad and I had this whole conversation about Social Security, and I'm like, I'm not worried about it. I don't think it's going to be here. They have to reform it greatly. So someone like myself in, you know, 25 years from now, is Social Security going to be around? I mean, I've been paying into it since I was 17, 18 years old, so it's definitely something to hopefully be there for me, even if it's a couple bucks. But, you know, I'm just trying to enjoy life and everything, and I hope you guys are too. You know, I'm hoping you're finding stuff that's bringing happiness and everything to look forward to, whether it's shows or movies or series or books or people or trips or jobs or, you know, volunteering or whatever it is. You know, it's important to enjoy as much as you can and have a good positive outlook. You know, like, people go through some crazy stuff, and, you know, we have to choose, because you can't choose what happens in circumstances. You can't choose what happens to us, around us, on there too. I think we can choose is how we can impact it, how we feel about it, how we can do about it. Can we leave the situation? Can we de-escalate the situation? Can we worsen it, improve it, you know, calm it down, you know, be positive with it, negative with it, you know, too. It's like the same thing as, you know, if it's big or small or whatever, we choose how we view something. And not everything is going to be positive, but you can see something in a positive light, you know, like there's a guy named Jocko Willink, and he was a Navy SEAL. And he's got this mindset that everything is good, no matter if it's good or not. Yeah, this happened, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Like it's so crazy. Like, oh yeah, you woke up, you have aches and pains in your toes, blah blah blah, good. You do all this, you go to your car, good. Like the mindset is good because you can get past it. You can experience it, go through the trials and tribulations, and remember that I got through it. And it's a crazy mindset. It's that military mindset. It's like, I don't care what comes my way, good. We will deal with it and handle it and move on to the next problem, because that's what life's all about. Problems and problem solving and moving past those problems, good or bad. You don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill either. I always love that phrase, because the smallest little thing can drive you nuts, and sometimes it does. It's like the last straw, the last thing. It's the short fuse. You're just looking for any little thing. And I've been there, and that's a flaw of mine too that happens. I have plenty of them, but ultimately at the end of the day is you got to work on and move on, and balance each other out. And my wife does a great job of that, and so you got to find the right person to do that as well. And I also feel like we got to be there for each other and make the person feel appreciated. Because sometimes it goes without standing, to say stuff too, like now that I'm older, you start losing people and friends and connections and jobs and everything. It's just crazy, so just life comes at you fast, and you got to choose what to take on and how to go about it. Rob K asks, what do you think about Netflix buying Warner Brothers? Are theaters doomed? So I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Netflix and Warner Brothers. So I think I really want to be able to have bundles of stuff. I would love to have a bundle of Netflix, HBO Max, Discovery, whatever the bundles would be, right? So there's going to be certain things like right now, I think if you have Walmart Plus, you could get Paramount Plus too for so long. I think you need a Walmart Plus, Sam's Plus, and Paramount Plus all together. And then you get AT&T and this, or Verizon and that, or T-Mobile and this, or whatever, and you get things that connect the dots. So you kind of not put all your chips in one pot, but you can kind of have all right, Amazon is probably its own thing, because Amazon doesn't need to partner with anybody. They're the king, they're this, they're great with that. Their streaming stuff is secondary. Their football on Thursdays is secondary. They're all about Prime memberships, movies, products, shipping, everything. They have, AWS, I got a bunch of things. But I don't know about movie theaters. I think the movie theater process needs to be something that draws you in. We need more things like the Sphere, in my opinion, because they're really pushing this Wizard of Oz thing, which is that movie's from the 40s, I believe, and it's still a great movie. It's a classic, but it's interactive. When the tornado comes, the wind blows, you feel it inside there. The apples fall from the tree, they fall in there too. The monkeys, the flying monkeys come around, they come around. It's crazy. And just like malls, right? The same thing. Malls are dead. Malls are doomed. Well, yes and no. Yes, for certain things, you're not going to go buy CDs at the mall. But if you have food options, entertainment options, different things, different rides, you can't replicate Disney World, a theme park, unless you go there. But a movie theater, have you seen TVs now? Have you seen how cheap they are? I went to Sam's on Saturday, right? And you could buy a 75-inch TV for $500, which is crazy. You have to have the room for it, obviously, if you want to put it on the wall or put it on an entertainment center or whatever. But that's what I got. I got a 75-inch TV. And I want a bigger TV, to be honest with you. They make a 100-inch TV by Vizio. And if I didn't have this 100-inch or the 75-inch TV, I'd be like, how can I get this 100-inch TV? because I'm good with being at home waiting for streaming services. Now, the next movie I'll probably see in the movie theater is probably going to be Avengers Doomsday. Because I'm excited to see that, because I'm a huge X-Men fan. And I've already seen it, where you've seen Cyclops and Professor X and Magneto and stuff. And so Mystique's going to be there. And certain people from the X-Men movies, and Hugh Jackman is rumored to be in there. All these people are rumored to be in it. And it just looks awesome. And so it's got me in there too. And I would like to go to the movie theater for once, and it'd be a nice little date in 11 months. But for majority of the other movies, I'd rather just wait at home. You don't have to drive to the movie theater. You don't have to buy the outrageous popcorn prices and the concessions and then go sit down in a seat that hopefully works, hopefully is mechanical, hopefully it reclines, hopefully it's nice, hopefully it's good. You don't have to worry about people sitting next to you that are loud or annoying, that stink, you don't have to worry about any of that at home. You're in your own comfort of your own house, and you can buy a nice, good recliner chair or sectional sofa or huge, movie theater chairs or whatever, and you don't have to ever worry about it again. Plus, you're buying a streaming service for, I don't know, $10 a month, $15 a month, $25 a month, however it costs for the month. One movie ticket is like easily $15. And then if I go with my wife and I, that's $30. We get a water, we get a soda, we get some popcorn, we get this. That's another $20. So you're going to be spending at least $50 for one night out. Or you can spend $50 a month for the entire month and watch stuff at home too. So yeah, Sam says 100-inch TV. I have to put an addition on the house to have that. No, I don't think it's necessary to do something like that. But that's you never know. Maybe that's what you could do. Rob says 4DX theaters seem like such a cool idea. I'd love to see something in one of them, or the Sphere. Yeah, something like that too. But it's just kind of a niche thing that I don't think really is sustainable. I know they have like a movie pass that you can watch certain movies for the month, like one movie a week or so. I don't know. They give restrictions, but you can watch a couple different movies. Or they have like Tuesdays where they're cheaper. So it's kind of crazy. Heart of Nixie, almost missed all of this. I guess I have to read and listen. Glad you're back. Thank you, Heart of Nixie. I appreciate it. So, yeah, I know some people were not getting the notifications that I was back on for the stream. It was kind of a little tough with the connections and stuff for the updated stuff, and with YouTube, because I haven't done it for a little bit too. So, but yeah, guys, I plan to be back, every Sunday for the foreseeable future. Be talking about different shows, different movies, different stuff on there as well. The latest thing I saw was they were filming something in New York for actual Dead City. Someone posted something where they were filming there, even though they were filming in Boston before, and they had a thing where you could be extra. You could be kids playing. It was like children playing in a park, and it was so funny because it was like people that can look homeless, but it didn't say homeless. It said like unhoused people. That was how they got around it on there too. So people that were willing to look shabby on there, or maybe even, I don't know, but they were looking for people like that for filming of Dead City season 3. And I don't know if that was something recently or not, because I feel like they were filming Dead City for a little bit now, and then you're going to get into areas that could be limited with weather. But Daryl Dixon season 4 is done. That should be out probably September, October. Oh, also Tulsa King. I know they were filming that for season 4. I don't know when that's going to be back too. But Taylor Sheridan show's going strong. I'm excited to see what happens there too. And Landman is great if you haven't seen that on Paramount Plus. Mayor of Kingstown's wrapping up with its final season. And yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming out, and I don't know what the future holds for The Walking Dead, but Daryl's show's ending. And Dead City is looking like the only show that's going to be on, even though there's a lot of talk on Facebook and different stuff that they're trying to get you to click these articles to say nothing. I haven't seen them, but everybody that commented on there too, it's all nonsense and saying that Andrew Lincoln wants to come back to play Rick Grimes. Well, you know, he can do that in a multitude of ways. He doesn't have to have his own show. He could fill in. He could be in the final season or in the final episode of Daryl Dixon or Dead City or whatever. You know, you never know. Come back around again, and I hope we see Rick and Daryl reunited in some way, shape, or form. I think we want to see that is all we can say as Walking Dead fans. But all right, guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time. Thank you for the technical difficulties at the beginning, but I appreciate you guys taking the time for the stream for this January 11th, 2026. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about some of the football games that are going on this weekend and any other shows, movies, stuff that you watch, you want to talk about, like Fallout or Stranger Things or something on there too. We'll be back next Sunday from 1 o'clock, Eastern time. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Keep working hard no matter what you want to do in life. Keep doing it. Whatever it is, you can do it, guys. I'll be back next Sunday, guys, and see ya. See ya.